finals time for our first of 2 Monday Cups today. When this one ends, another one begins. In the top right-hand corner, our red Protoss player, repping the Storm Gaming logo and name. It is going to be MaxPax in the top right corner of the map here on Tokamak. So, MaxPax in the upper right, Solar in the bottom left. And it's a best of 5 ZVP Solar back in the finals. Again, I like to kind of talk about the history of this tournament. Solar has so many top 4s. 17 times Solar has finished top 4. So 1 in every 4 events, Solar is a top 4 finisher in this tournament series. He's only made the finals once. Now twice. He lost that first time to Clem. If he wins today, Solar would be the 10th ever player to win a Monday Cup. Because there's a lot of guys that have appeared, and there's a bunch of guys that have only ever done it once. So yeah, that's kind of a little factor. Things to think on. MaxPax looking to extend. Actually, MaxPax, if he wins today, would tie Hero to be once again the second most winning player of the Monday Cups as well. They're both trying to chase down Clem as the #1 guy. Obviously, they'll get a second chance later tonight as well if they want to play the second cup of the day. Monday Cup 60 comes up after this one as we kick into Game 1 of this series. So, MaxPax, Solar, and we've obviously gotten to see them both play a PvZ in the round of 4, so we get a good idea of what to expect. I mean, I think MaxPax is the likely one to kind of change it up a bit more, especially in the best of 5, where I think as well you're just going to have to see MaxPax probably go into a different phase of the game. Against Yakov, he was comfortable, he was in a good position, he got a lot of value early every single time, and he was really able to capitalize on that, whereas against Solar, I think he's going to have a much tougher time kind of putting himself in those positions, and Solar's aggression is going to hit hard. And we saw against Hero, one game mutas into roaches, the other game just Lingbane Hydra aggression. Solar did not hold back on the go button. He put down the accelerator, and he drove straight through the front door of the Protoss a couple of games in a row, so kind of expecting something similar from Solar kind of throughout the series. The coolest part of watching Solar play ZVP is he finds so many different ways to get to that aggressive setup. And if he does need to play it a bit later, he's still pretty darn good a bit later on as well. So, yeah. We'll see what happens. Yo, Void Operator, thank you so much for subbing for 3 months in advance. Love that. Thank you so much for the belief and the support. I appreciate you. Subbed across the Christmas period in advance. Love that. Thank you so much for the 2-month resub. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Oracle on the way. Warp Gate in production. The hatchery, the Ling speed, all coming through. We have our Dep going to pull across toward the third base for a couple moments. Clean Lings and drones building as well. And yo, Kleiner's Fusel, thank you so much for the £15 donation. You're going to have to just quickly get my dashboard open to read the comment. £1 for every map Zerg has won in the cup so far. Oh my god, Zergs have 15 map wins. That's actually a little bit crazy. That's actually a lot. Thank you so much for the £15 donation. I love that message. That's a thematic message. I love it. Beautiful stuff. Alrighty, into game #1 then. As we do have an early Evo chamber from Solar, so he sets up initially onto, like I say, a fast upgrade. This Oracle is on track to see that. It's in the back of a natural, and this Oracle's going to fly right through there, so there's not exactly going to be hidden information as the Oracle goes to 2 drones, loses its shields. Good choice just to get the 2. Any more would have seen a little bit more kind of actual HP damage done. That part you can't regenerate like you can the shields, obviously, on these Oracles. Oracle gets 1 more drone between the bases, and we just settle now to have a few more drones rebuilding from Solar. Melee upgrade on the way. Feelings here going to threaten on that third base already, and MaxPax doesn't have too much nearby. Ooh, I'm going to go charge. If he goes charge on Archon, that's very nice against the melee upgrade, and that might just be a choice because he's already seen the Evo chamber and you're presuming what's going on here. Solar adds that Baling Nest quickly, so what... It's interesting because charge is good because you can go like charge on Archon against Ling Bane, but then if you're just on charge shots and the Banes are quick, maybe you can knock the charge shots down and actually have a good time as well. It would also be dangerous if Solar played into the Spire, but I don't think that's likely in a game where he rushed out the Evo chamber. No lair yet either. There it is, starting now. But yeah, does prioritize that Baneling Nest pretty early on. We'll see if he does anything with it. Or if he just kind of gets it early just in case. Because like I say, MaxPax is on his way to that charge upgrade to begin with. Solar already lapping over MaxPax on that work account. But he is making more lings, so he's kind of sitting at 53 workers here. There is a world where he just kind of goes Ling Bane aggression from here. He's still making lings. I think he's looking for a big old bust, and this might be very good against the responsive charge. Because as long as the Banes knock down a bunch of the Zealots, there's not going to be much else really here for MaxPax. Templar Archive starting, the timing of this has to be so crisp from Solar. Like, he has to hit before Archon's are out. The moment Archon's out, this becomes so much tougher. What's going to be really awkward is the Zealots on the other side of the map, so Solar kind of has to go. I mean, how do you approach this, actually? These Banelings are going to slow Waddle home? Question mark? Oh, no. Well, there's a lot of lings, because obviously he's been doing nothing but building units, and there's not exactly like a nearby warp-in point here from MaxPax, so the problem is that Zealots are just very good. 28 new lings on the way. The slow Banes are going to slowly surround. He comes in from 2 directions. He is going to get a bunch of probes at least. He gets 9. I mean, MaxPax attacking has definitely been a little bit of a spanner in the works for Solar. I really imagine those Banelings wanting to do more. He's now droning. He's now building himself a Hydra Den. So he's not going to continue committing to the Ling Bane Hydra. Oh, sorry, the Ling Bane attacking. But instead we'll end up on Ling Bane Hydra here with a few more drones. We'll need to start Bane speed as well if he plans to keep using Banelings realistically. Oracles will not get too much more done chasing those lings that get a Stalker. And obviously Archon's out is going to be a major point from MaxPax, because now he's going to have Big Splash available. That's why Solar can't really keep attacking with just Ling Bane. Because at this stage, tech units are out. Like I said, it was really going to be a pretty fine timing of being able to hit there. As you see the Groove Spine starting, so just going to move straight through to the Hydra phase of this. Starts up that Baneling speed as well. Did he start Carapace for a second there? I think he did, and then decides to go for the Bane speed instead as a priority. I mean, I like that. What I don't like is that MaxPax is already shoving into him, and so Solar might be in some danger right off the bat here. Stasis Ward trying to come down. One Hydra picked off already. The Lings are going to figure out how they can get involved here. There's a couple of Banes morphing. Want to try and set off the Stasis up there, but we didn't manage to get the Ling through. It goes down a little bit too soon. The Archons are going to put in work right now. That's where the Hydras are going to help out, and we are going to save this hatchery. Solar might be one of the most clutch plays in StarCraft 2, by the way. Consistently, Solar in ZVT, in ZVP, is so frequently just surviving and hanging on by a thread, and just able to kind of make games turn in his favor once he's survived by like kind of the slightest of margins. And that 4th base is again just another, maybe it's not the closest 4th hatch kill of all time in survival, but it's just kind of that idea of like, man, it nearly went down, you know, and that really does just play into what we see from Solar so freaking often. It's pretty big deal, quite frankly. As the Robo Facility building on the natural, we do have the Groove Spine, the Muscle Organs coming in. Ling Hydra still building up. The Oracle's dropping Stasis Wards down. A few Lings going to get towards the top Nexus. Put some pressure in over there as a couple of those Lings go the other way. Cancelling the 4th. Keeps MaxPax the 3-base Protoss as long as possible. The longer you manage that for, the better, as Prism can't stick around to warp in, so it's just going to be the first handful of Zealots. That's going to be more easily dealt with than you would imagine. And the Zealots on the right side go down too. Good defense from Solar, not letting anything else happen here. He's a 66 drone, Ling Bane Hydra aggressor, and with Hydra speed finishing, it's going to be go time, I think, for him to turn on the ignition and commit across the map. See some Banes there thinking of rolling through, but there's not a lot for them to do. One Ling pops the Stasis Ward, another Ling pops the Stasis Ward, preemptively removing some of the defenses that we're trying to work with right now. First Storm over there is nice, but it doesn't kill a lot of the Ling Bane. It will lower its HP, but doesn't go down. Knocking down these rocks gives you another kind of pathway to access through, as the army supplies are 114 to 71, so you're looking at about a 45 army supply advantage for Solar, with Ling Bane Hydra looking to commit from 2 angles here. It's the Storms that are going to be a big part of this, but where do you drop them down? That first Storm is pretty good because it stops the Hydras from coming around the corner. Stasis Ward comes in on the right-hand side as well, having a Storm defensively on the far right side. That's a good first wave of this defense. It's now only a 20 army supply lead in this game, but no 4th base. How much does Solar want to commit? Having gotten rid of the 4th base again, is he happy just to let this go a little bit? He's still defending great as well. Zealot attempts are being denied every single time. I thought that Stasis on the right was large. I'm surprised more units didn't come up from that direction and try and get the wraparound on the High Templar there, as we do see Solar close to maxing out and back to 116 to 80 supply, so about a 30 army supply difference. I mean, it comes and it goes. As Bane's finished morphing, it's going to jump up a little. And we can commit through as we just see the storms coming down. Lean Bane trying to move on in, and it's a lot of storms initially. You're going to be having the Banelings having to try and stay back. We do have, I think, one storm left on those High Templars. It's a lot of tech units behind this, but I tell you what, Immortals are not going to do the best against Ling Hydra if that's what they have to try and kill. Zealots across the map this time will begin to do some serious damage. Zealots showing up over here. Can these Hydras fight through? The Archon goes down. The Immortals are going to get chased, and this is going to be chaos because Solar is losing drones across the map, but he is chasing down Immortals, and he's getting a lot of them as well. And that third base may now be in trouble. MaxPax is rebuilding the fort, so maybe we need to try and deny that again. Solar's reinforcements are desperately trying to deal with the Zealots, as over here the Zealot reinforcements are desperately trying to deal with the Hydras. Army supply advantage still sits in Solar's favor by about 20, with a much lower overall count now. We're going to get rid of so many probes off this third base. It's going to go down. MaxPax can't justify running across there just yet, so he cannot come and defend it. And now it means he's probably going to have to play defense on the fourth, as that will become his third. But he lost so many probes, and that makes up for so many of the worker losses that Solar took at the same time. Lings and Hydras are back to try and deal with these Zealots right there. The Prism's over there as well. The one thing Solar did not lose, any bases, right? The hatcheries stay alive on the 4 base setup. Did he lose a base here? I'm not sure if he had a base there. No, he didn't lose a base there. So he didn't lose any bases, and so he still has the 4 base setup. Wasn't trying to go to a 5th base at all, which I guess makes sense because he does look to be pretty aggressive overall. And he sets up to maybe attack one more time on the other side, coming up from a couple different ramps. Stasis gets popped by Zerglings. Storm on that right side ramp is going to make it difficult to get up. The problem is over time, if you don't keep trading here as Solar, is that tech units come back online. Plus 3 attack finishes for the Protoss. The efficiency becomes a big thing. The Banelings are going to get to the High Templar. Only 2 of them survive through that, then they're low HP. We drop one more storm before they drop down. The units on the right side of the issue, and Solar says, I can come through this storm and we can attack right now. In he goes. Immortals and Archons are falling. Can MaxPax find a defense? I think we've got a critical mass of Hydras that say no. Zealots across the map will once more go after the drones and cause trouble for Solar, and once again distract his reinforcements, which might be the saving grace if there is one. I'm not sure if there will be, though. This hatchery, this next going down is a big deal, and MaxPax has 40 supply left, so that is just going to do it. GG, Solar is going to open this final with a 1-0 lead in the best of 5 chamber. So I'm going to go straight to, charge instead of going into blink. I'm not going to give you the advantage of melee upgrade Lings versus the Stalkers, so doesn't let that happen. But didn't matter in the end. Solar is able to scrap his way through to a game 1 victory, and that's what Solar is so freaking good at as we get into game 2 here. In the top right corner of the map, the red Protoss player from Psystorm Gaming down a game. It is going to be MaxPax, as in the bottom left, looking to be our first Zerg winner of a Monday Cup since edition number 2. Back in it must have been, September last year? When was edition number 2? Yeah, September 16th, 2024. That was the last time a Zerg won this cup. The last time we had a Zerg in the finals is kind of a long time ago as well. Shin in edition 43 back in July. I don't think we've had a Zerg since then, so Solar already doing crazy things by being in the finals. And I get the feeling he's going to do crazy things winning this finals today. I've just got a good feeling about Solar today. He's been playing great lately. His EVP has looked as good as it has been recently as well. Very exciting. Hatch gas pool coming up. Get settled in. Yeah, Hatch gas and pool coming through. Just going to be seeing the next and the cyber core coming online. And I get to breathe a little bit, because after an exciting game number 1, we do get a couple moments to reset and build back up and go into this one. So, very, very exciting. 3 pounds more. Whoa, if we're doing a pound per map win, we're +1 right now. Let's go, Solar. I'm not sure if that was an ongoing commitment. Don't jinx it. No, I shouldn't jinx it, because honestly, it was still a very close game as well. I felt good for Solar. I do feel like it was very close, but I also do feel like Solar had to play himself out of the build order disadvantage as well. So, let's see. We're just going to have ourselves the Stargate as an opening from MaxPax, not going to diverge from the typical, obvious kind of choice here. So that Stargate coming through, the Adept is on the way, the Nexus is still building, couple queens, a few drones, and the Link Speed coming by as well. As we just have our queen popping out the hatchery, going to throw down an inject, chrono boost on the Nexus for some probes to come on through. And that hatchery going down on the bottom side. Just a little reminder as well, if you somehow didn't hear me talking about it already today, but when this cup finishes up in 40 minutes time, we have cup number 2 on the day. So we'll have a second Monday cup coming up today, and that will be pretty much going back to back with this one, unless this is a very fast final. So yeah, we're going to be pretty much just back-to-back cups from the finals of one to the early rounds of another. The Monday cup double up to celebrate our front page on Twitch. If you are on Twitch, and if you're watching, or if you found us from the front page today, say hi. I'd love to hear from you guys. I know typically front page viewership just ends up being, you know, kind of just a sag boost to the number, but yeah, if you came in from the front page today, come say hey, let me know what's up. I always think StarCraft's an interesting one on the front page, because a lot of people who watch Twitch, maybe not a lot, but like, if you're into eSports and stuff, a lot of people who are into other eSports used to actually watch StarCraft to you kind of once upon a time, and still kind of coming back and check it out every now and then, so StarCraft always has that kind of history that kind of leaks through. It's always funny when you see like commentators or people who work in other games and like, yeah, I started out, you know, watching StarCraft back in the day, you know. So it's kind of cool to work in a game that has got such, I guess, deep-rooted history in the world of esports and so, and Twitch as well, realistically. SCT best esport. Yeah, it's definitely pretty great, huh? Hey, thank you, Hummy. Appreciate your 34-month resub on the Prime as well, mate. Thank you so much for supporting. Appreciate you priming us up. As we do have Resonating Glaives on the way. The Nexus coming through, the couple probes coming up, the Assimilator is coming by. Have our melee upgrade building from Solar right here. The drones and the Lings continue to produce. And an Extractor going to come about as well. So just going to get that underway. A few Zerglings are going to go on. And yeah, Resonating Glaives going to be a part of this for the moment. Going to see the Oracle going to activate. A couple drones going down early. Queen's going to be there. 3 workers killed. The Oracle gets pushed away to the sides. Again, Roadrone coming up. Hatchery on the way through. A few extra drones. Lings producing by for the moment. And yeah, Resonating Glaives is just going to chrono on through for the moment. Get that out. Get that operational as our Nexus and our Probies continue by. The few Lings are going to wrap around onto the Adepts. And the Adepts are going to say, no, push those back the other way. Obviously with Glaives, that's the big switch up here. Roadrone is about to finish from Solar, and he's going to kind of need to build Roaches ASAP here, gets the first few on the way. And like I say, it's a bit of a late kind of build on the Roaches. That's going to potentially give the Adepts positioning. And obviously if these Adepts get in the first position, the follow-up positions are very difficult to deal with, because then you just have the ability to kind of pick and choose your shades. Gonna stick to the front. We just see a Queen that's basically up for grabs, and we're gonna wander down toward the third base. There are Roaches on the third base, so all the places from the 3 Roaches that we built to spawn, they all spawn on the third. That's incredible. The Oracle just flies through the Queens and goes down. I mean, we do right-click the Oracle with the Queens, because obviously they were attacking the Adepts otherwise, but even still, you don't really want to be giving that up, as you are going to see Queens for a bit more damage here. Into the main base. That's where maybe we lose a few more drones. Some of the Roaches were on their way up there quickly. You can see the Adept shading once again. A Roach on that low ground trying to play defense. Solar's down almost 20 workers already, by the way. As the extra Roaches show up, and MaxPax is just right-clicking down a few more drones, I think, here. Just getting as much as he can. There's no way in which Solar doesn't just send this across the map for the counterattack. Blink is actually a long way off. The Oracle is going to be big. I think a Stasis Ward is necessary. Oh, he's going to build some drones. I was absolutely certain. He's going to start Overlord speed. I think he doesn't want to actually drone, but I don't think he believes he can fight without building Overlord speed to bring the Queens across the map. So he's not going to... He's going to drone a little bit. Now he's going to morph for Ravage. He had a few more Lings on the way. It's going to give you a chance to finish Blink. There's the Dropper Lord. Yeah. Did he not realize... I mean, I guess there's still one Oracle, but like, is one Oracle the deal breaker of having to bring Queens across the map? I guess you're afraid that from this point, MaxPax keeps building Oracles. As like, well, if he attacks me, you know, like, Oracles will just clean it up, unless there's Queens. I mean, there's the Overlord speed finishing, so we're going to have a few more drones having been built to give us some kind of ability behind this. The Ravage is seen. I mean, MaxPax knows what's coming. As Blink is going to be done. I mean, the fact Blink is going to be finished is a big factor. It's still going to be a lot of army supply from Solar, but obviously completely all in. is... I actually think he would have been better just to go before Blink was done and just go ASAP, you know? It's going to be a cannon battery down that ramp. We have not morphed in any Ravagers here. Solar does not have the gas for that. This is just baseline Roach Ling. And the Stalker's going to make a big Blink back. We see a few Adepts warping in as well, just to try and clean up the Lings quickly. Just do not feel like Solar's army supply is going to get it done. Here are the Queens, so we're going to have to drop some creep if we want them to be able to transfuse up some Roaches and keep them going. The Stalkers are getting very caught in the back, and, you know, that does give you maybe an opportunity to clean up a few of them. The army supply here is 42 to now 41. The warping of Stalkers is massive. We're going to drop the Biles onto the warping Stalkers. We get a couple kills, so hey, we make value out of the corrosive Biles, which is not always a guarantee. But the reality is the numbers are not there. Yeah, I wonder if he could have just gone sooner. Again, the one Oracle will do a lot, but in the end of the day, like, we might actually get to see some Showtime today. We've not seen Showtime in a hot second. So that's exciting. Very, very fun as we dive into Game 3 of our series. Top left-hand side, the red Protoss player is MaxPax, taking on the blue Zerg. In the bottom right from Falcons, we have Solar. Can you sign up? Yep, the bracket link has the 60th cup right there. If you guys want to sign up, come play. It's an open cup for a reason. You might get smashed by Solar or MaxPax or someone in the first round, but you are absolutely welcome to come and play. Just if you do sign up, make my life easy. Be on the NA server, be in the WardiTV chat channel. And yeah. You're very welcome to come and sign up, guys. If you're out there right now and want to come in and take part, you can sign up right now. Hero Marine in the bracket too? Yeah, I saw that as well. Hero Marine I know sometimes plays the Monday nights. It's just we haven't seen Showtime sign up for anything in a while. I know he signed up to play the Kung Fu Cup monthly this week, but yeah, that's really kind of about it. As you see, Roby coming around, nibbling about. Gateway Cybercore coming through. Zealot is on the way. Guess we should probably put the Observer on instead of just sitting AFK for a moment or two. Would probably help. So Hatch and the gas coming on in, get that drone, the Queen coming through, the Zergling going after the probe as well. As we just have our gateway and the Cybercore all building up. So getting that through, the Zealot on the way. Overlord just coming to the front as the couple of gateways there will be finishing. I guess you have to be a particular minimum level. Nope, it's a completely open cup. If you are Bronze League, you can show up. You will get smashed, you will lose, but you're absolutely welcome to come and play. Fun opening here from MaxPax. He plays the double gateway at the front, so aggressive. Later Nexus, but we'll give him some units to play with initially and to try and harass with. So we'll see how well that does. We'll see if it nets him, you know, value to kind of justify this move being made, because that's kind of going to be the immediate question of, like, is this worth the investment of an extra gateway and chrono boosts and building those adepts early? Like, this is all going to eat into other things that you could have been doing otherwise, right? So we come over. Ling's on the way up. The couple Queens are going to try and play defense. The Zealot being there as well is kind of a big deal, as it's really helping a lot against that Queen, but the Lings do get around. Great response from the Queen to run. Just stay away from these adepts, because that Queen could still go down, and that's what we're going to realize now is... Solar's chasing the adept still with the Queen. Let me get rid of one while the Queen actually lives. Maybe the adepts wouldn't have killed it that quickly, and it just wasn't worth it, but that's 5 drones going down, so... Damage taken from Solar, but obviously it is a later Nexus than usual, so it's like, okay, I'm taking damage, but then, like I say, it's damage which is more allowable than it typically would be. You're still forced to lost mining time, though. I'd still say this has been pretty successful, as Solar is finally going to get to Ling speed in the next few moments. That Ling speed is going to be a big deal. The few drones and the Overlord still coming up. Gates in the Robo Facility coming by, the Resonating Claves beginning. And as you see those gateways morphing in on the natural already, so getting those up, getting those running. The Resonating Glaives coming through, probes and the gates coming in line, just for now. Circling speed will complete. And where are we going from here? Again, you see the extra few drones coming about, the Queen and the Overlord coming through at those gates on. Just get set up. One Stalker at the front will poke away at the Zergling and push that back the other direction. There is the Baneling Nest coming into the front door as well, so it's going to just be part of the wall off and give us a chance to morph in a few Banelings here in the future. How aggressive does Solo want to be with that? I mean, he's just droning for now. He's actually, you can see right now, overtaking the Protoss at like 35 workers already is pretty nice. Like, it's a little bit earlier for the Zerg than it should be, so you can see the kind of slowdown in the economy of MaxPax is very real. The Baneling Nest will be important just to help with the Adepts in the end. Just get a few Banes, force those Adepts to split. Even just getting them to spread means the Lings get better surface area, right? If those Lings can run in, get a full wraparound on the Adepts and get some damage done, then that alone is a pretty big factor, and that does a lot for you. So the Baneling Nest has a major role to play. We need to deal with this glaive play. MaxPax is basically kind of playing builds here, which is trying, the whole point is to try and deny Solo from kind of playing his Ling-heavy melee upgrade style to success. These Banelings have to do work right now as we shade away. The Banes are going to be slow chasing after the Adepts. You do see the split up. That gives you the surround on the Adepts that you're looking for, though. And so that's going to help a lot. The problem is now the Warp Prism is here, and the issue with the Prism is going to be that you can instantly warp in Adepts. And so you don't have time to morph in more Banelings here as Solar, and that makes it so much more difficult. So yeah, the instant reinforcements is huge. If you're playing against like a later kind of glaives, like after Stargate, Banelings are a little bit more useful. Because of the Prism, it makes it that much tougher. That said, this is still very committed from MaxPax. He's still a 2-base Zerg, Protoss player, which means that our Zerg can somewhat justify some of this damage. I'm not going to say it's great that we're kind of, running around after Adepts and struggling and it's taken a while, but like, it could be a lot worse, realistically. Just going to be seeing the couple of Queens going to get in after the Adepts, a few more Warpins. Gonna go charge behind this. We're very close to finishing up the Roach Roaring. Solar, like I say, right now, it doesn't feel great, but you have to rely on the fact that this is commitment from the other side. And as long as that is a commitment, you're kind of okay with this, just building units and shutting it down and then going from there. MaxPax is again slow on that third base, so you can't really kind of benefit from additional economy just yet. Means we'll drop a transfusion. Obviously, we do kind of need to keep the third base alive. A couple of Adepts going to try and run to the front here. A little bit of splash damage. The Lings committing. We're going to get the Queens onto the Prism. Not enough for the kill. We're out of Zerglings as well as these Banelings try and roll through. We are now building Roaches. There's not a lot of Adepts left over, to be fair. These Queens will go after a couple extra. An extra warp in again, though. But that's where the Roaches are going to come into play. Actually, having Roaches now should help a lot. But we just lost our Queens as MaxPax still pushing at the front. And it's difficult, man. Like, we just don't have the numbers, really. We're going to shade. We have anything in position over here. One Roach alone is not going to do it. Oh, it's so close from Solo, but I think this is going to be too much, because at this point, you can start warping in, Zealots in the future, and you come with, like, an Immortal Zealot attack. I don't think Solo's going to be ready to deal with that at all, especially as another 9 drones go down. So you finally clean up the Adepts, but with a major cost attached to it of that economy falling. And it's not like Ling Roach counterattack is on the board now either, because there's Immortals coming up, so there's going to be a defense there too. And Solar ends up unprepared. Obviously did take damage early. He made a great effort at defending this, but now I think the disadvantage is just too much. He's going to keep making Ling Roach as well, which I think sends that he's going to go across the map. He doesn't need Overlord speed to drop the Queens this time because there's no Stargate in play, but yeah, I mean, just took too much time. Like I say, MaxPax is starting to design his game plan around just, hey, I do not want to let you play the fast melee upgrades. You clearly feel comfortable playing Ling Bane Hydra aggression and just aggression like that in general. So he's kind of doing builds that make it difficult for Solo to do what he's comfortable with. There is going to be the Prism that's already going to hunt for some of these Roaches before they get across the map. And the micro starts, and like I say, 2 Immortals in the Prism feels like an impossible task right now for these Roaches. They do not have Roach speed, they're not teched up at all, they don't have an upgrade, they are baseline Roaches that are going to have a lot of Zerglings to come across and help out. There is a double army supply advantage here from Solo. It's going to be one attack to try and get it done. A couple of sentries start going down quickly, the Adepts are putting some work in, the Lings try and peel away. Get on top of the Immortals, we lost some HP on one of them, but it's still looking pretty cozy. The pylon will go down, perhaps. New battery, so it's actually important to get rid of that pylon because it gets rid of the battery power, and right now Solar is still 30 army supply ahead. Those 2 Immortals are not doing enough right now. They don't have bonus damage against Lings or Ravagers, right? So that's going to be the issue. There's a few Zealots showing up. That's going to make life more difficult. The Ravager damage output is good. The Zealots are dying quickly, and Solar's counterattack is still giving him some life as he comes on through. Now going to try and break his way through the wall. A couple of files on the gate here. If he gets the third Nexus, he might just be okay with this. Lair on the way, couple drones start to build. It's still going to be tough because his opponent is going to be on good tech units. 2 Archons being added as a major addition as well. But it's somewhat playable with no third base from the Protoss because he's going to be that much more committed as well. Currently just chasing that Prism down and just trying to get some value. That Prism staying alive was huge as well. We saw the Queen's targeted. Imagine it actually went down at some stage. That would have been massive. Solar might be thinking, can I get rid of the wall off here? Like, can I take some gateways down and get some extra value from just being on the map still? Solar's got to play a very careful balancing game right now. He's down in workers, but remember, there's no third base mining, so a lot of those workers are oversaturated for MaxPax. So the economy is favoring Solar. He might just have to go into units just in case, because I think the biggest concern right now is if MaxPax just full sends an army and he's caught droning, he might not have what he needs to really get away with this. Just going to be seeing the couple of mortals taking some shots, pushed away a little bit, +1 missiles, Baneling speed, Roach speed, all building through. And we'll have ourselves the attack and immortal coming up as well. The Prism loads back up, pulling Roach Ravager, stepping over. Let's have ourselves the army of Solar pulling back down the bottom once again. MaxPax just trying to go with the Prism pressure. Maybe now Solar, I mean, he's still building units again off 51 workers. I wonder if he's just going to go Roach speed, Bane speed +1, and he just attacks. And maybe that's not a terrible idea. Like, just basically sending it with a ton of units. It's obviously much more committed. Storm is halfway done. MaxPax is getting back online in terms of some more tech here in this game. Still does not have a third base, so a lot of those probes oversaturated right now. Long-distance mining are not as efficient as you might think they are. Observer is going to get piled down, gets rid of some of the vision as well. Just remove some of the confirmations from MaxPax as to what exactly is going on. Solar's getting a 4th hatchery bottom left side, but like I say, does not have many drones to go send to it. We are 11.5 minutes in game, so I guess Solar right now is full saturated, so as he gets the 4th base, he could then drone and just send those drones there, you know, from this point. Like, arguably, he's been fully saturated because, again, the main base has already been mining out a little bit, so you've lost some patches and availability. I think the reality is he just wants to send this full-on attack, though. 22 Banelings is going to be a big power point. His army is going to be much more valuable than it has been before. Before it was kind of Roach heavy, so, you know, the value in the army supply is a bit lower. But this time with Banelings or so, it's a lot tougher for MaxPax to really deal with it. Do not love those storms. The first one whiffed, the second one goes right where the first one was at. We're not playing with a ton of storms available, so that's kind of a big deal. Prism across the map, Solar's pulling back, he's droning. I don't know if Solar loves the idea of attacking into what he just saw. Clearly not. I actually like his attack, though. I actually think the attack would have been good because it would have been into basically no... there's no baseline units there. It's just tech units, which, yes, is very powerful, but I actually think there's a chance he just overwhelms it because all the damage he does is going to be onto Archon Immortal. It's tough because, like, it doesn't necessarily feel great, but I think there's a chance. Good defense on the ramp, on the natural wall, by the way. If you get in there as Solar, that's just an annoyance you can play for. Observer was a second late. I didn't notice it either, but 19 probes go down. The Banelings crashing there, I think, secures it for Solar. He doesn't need to fight anymore. He can pull back, drone a little bit, and then go, because that's a lot of eco damage. And just as MaxPax sees actual ability to mine off a third base, it's instantly stripped away from him. So Solar succeeds with that, as now we resettle ourselves here for this game 3. +2 attack upgrades still coming through. 2 more High Templar and an Immortal being built. The Archon being added on as well. 7 Banelings are producing for the moment. The melee upgrade in production. Going to take a little bit of a fight in the center. You can see MaxPax, I think, is getting desperate too. He's not rebuilding probes, so he's going. So now from Solar, it's a defense, defense, defense scenario where you just have to hold on. And I've seen Solar's been chasing after that Prism for a while. We'll get that to deal up with those Zealots quickly. Cancels the 5th hatchery. All he has to do is defend, which means all he really has to do is kind of not, you know, play around the creep spread and play with that creep to help him out here. I don't hate sending a few Banes forward, but maybe could have done it a little bit more better. Didn't drop a Storm as MaxPax, so wasn't that afraid of this. Again, MaxPax's army is so valuable. Like, it's got so many high-tech units involved, +1 melee gets denied. Solar again has the advantage of being the defender and being able to buy a bit of time. We're going to start coming through, has to run through storms to get there. It's going to be ugly, and it's going to be very ugly if you're the Zerg fan, as that is going to be it going down. The army just melts. It wasn't good enough. MaxPax's counterattack is going to be good. Solar, and if you can just maybe stabilize through that early game, I mean, it's been on the back of the glaives. The thing is, for MaxPax, how many times do you go glaives and expect to see success before you kind of peel away and try and do something else instead? Fun questions as MaxPax top left, Solar bottom right. Game 4 of our finals right here as we kick this off. Was MaxPax who GG? No, his army. MaxPax's army was stomping. The moment Solar decided to full commit, it's like, ugh, but the problem is, it's like, what are you really waiting for? I guess as well. The Prism's gonna harass your main. Like, does it get any better for Solar? Like, you're basically relying on Biles to do some damage to chip it down and to give you a chance. He tried to go. The opponent stepped onto creep. He tried to take the fight. He just didn't have that good of an army. In the end of the day. It was a weird game. I see people being like, the Zerg goes ahead the whole game and this happens. But, like, no, like, he was in trouble, man. Like, he had to do so much to step back in the game. He was all in and off of weird positions. His tech was delayed. Like, Solar all-in'd himself, like, 2 or 3 times in this game. The problem with the all-in in the end there, so, you know the moment when he killed those probes, right, on the 3rd? But the issue is that he was trying to get into the main with the Lings as well. And that would have been a huge play, because that would have maybe pulled MaxPax apart a bit. But because he couldn't do that, he could never really get that MaxPax army to separate. And as a death ball, that MaxPax army was super powerful, which is why Solar didn't commit to fighting on the other side of the map. Instead, he retreats home and tries to play a longer game, and MaxPax is like, no, no, no. Like, there's a reason you don't want to fight my army, so let's go, you know, let's take this fight. Maybe in that case, if you see, you know, MaxPax coming across the map, maybe Solar's play should be to go and try and go for, like, a base trade, right? Because maybe then you actually have something of a chance. Because, again, fighting that army straight up ain't going to happen, and that army arriving on your front door is going to be brutal. I wanted to believe, I wanted to believe in what Solar was kind of packing until the very end, and I think I kind of did have a bit of belief, but looking back on it, it really was maybe a little bit misplaced, to be honest, so. Fun stuff, man. Fun games. I mean, game 1 was obviously pretty crazy and back and forth, too. It's definitely a fun matchup between these guys when they come up against each other. The Lings will just knock some rocks down. Stargate is about to finish. High warp gate building, Link speed producing. Take a few moments right now as we just see the hatchery going down over on the right. Wardy is MaxPax now confirmed as the best PvZ. I have no idea, honestly. I think MaxPax is struggling against Solar just as much as the other guys are. Only he's abusing the glaives to give himself winnable kind of build scenarios, and he's doing well from there, but yeah, I don't know if he's the best PvZ. Hard to say, because MaxPax, Hero, and Classic all play very different kind of PvZ as well, so it's really hard to say who's the best when they play such different styles and varieties. And we just don't really see that much PvZ to really talk about it either, to be honest, right? Like, you know, like, we're gonna, like, today is the most PvZ I've watched in a hot second, and we just don't see the matchup enough to really make those sort of statements, I think. Oh, thank you, SLD121, over on the YouTube. Lost my voice. Becoming a YouTube member. Thank you so much for joining the WardiTV Gold tier. Appreciate you. Thank you for supporting over on the YouTube. It's not every day we get a YouTube sub. I'll give it some love when it happens. Thank you so much. Evolution Chamber coming up here. We get ourselves 7 drones, 6 Lings, all building by. The Overlord will be coming up as well. A few extra Lings also coming through as the Nexus, Gates, and Twilight Council will build. It's going to be seeing a couple of Oracles stepping over. The Queens are going to be right there. The Oracles get turned around. A little Revelation coming down already. And the melee upgrade is going to be the build of choice once again from Solar. A little predictable, maybe. As we're already 5 minutes into this game. I really yapped on that much about everything else before really locking in here. Apparently so. This is, I mean, 5, 6 drones going down across the map, but we're going to cancel a third? Ori, I mean, Oracle show back up. Was that just 2 Adepts, 3 Adepts, 4 Adepts that kill, like, that many drones? Ugh. And those Lings on the other side realistically killed an Adept, you know? Like, they killed an Adept, some damage to the hatch that doesn't go down. And Solar is bleeding early on this one. 8 dead drones. Doesn't feel good at all. Still equal on workers as the blink just now starts from MaxPax, but it does feel pretty rough start for someone that relies on having that strong early to mid-game economy to hit as hard as possible when their tech units come online. It really feels like Solar's getting set back in a big way here in this game 4. Currently down 1-2, must win this game to keep this finals and Zerg dream alive. He's looking stepping over. The melee upgrade and the Ling's coming through. Stalker's going to be there. A couple Lings going down already. Just going to go nibbling a few of the Stalkers. Get there. The Ling's taking damage. Baneling Nest coming through. The Lair about to finish. Just a few more Lings showing up on the left-hand side. Some Lings going to run across as well. Adept is going to be there too. Just for the moment. Zealot, Stalker, Lincoln +1 coming on by. Temple Archives coming about, +1 on the blink coming in. I see the Ling's already trying to deal with these Stalkers early. To be fair, it doesn't feel like the Stalkers are getting too much potential to kind of get on the hatchery. The Hydra Den's about to be done as well. This looks pretty okay for Solar defensively for now. Don't think there's going to be too much issue for him kind of hanging on in here just yet. So that part of this seems fairly okay for the moment as we continue through. Lings get some catches. The Queen's going to be right there. I'm just going to be seeing the Stasis is going to be pretty sizable. Yeah, I've got a few Hydras coming up. The Lingbane counterattack setup as well could be big if MaxPax doesn't have a response to that. Losing economy as the Protoss when you feel like you're in control is one very quick way to lose advantage. We're going to see it coming though. And so we're just going to pull away. Crash for a few probes and 2 probes and a battery. Pylon. It's supply blocks, MaxPax. I want to pretend it's kind of decent, but it's really not what you're looking for. Let's be realistic. As Solar's going to come around the left side with the Lings. He's going to try and get over here. Going to jump straight on toward this Stalker, which tries to pull back. A couple of cancels will come through. Storm and that charge coming up as well. So MaxPax getting into that better tech position. And Solar, 77 drones. I think we've seen this one before where it's just going to be Ling, Bane, Hydra. And we are going to send it. Now, this obviously is pretty committed in terms of composition. It's not committed in terms of economy for Solar, right? Like, he's going to have a lot of eco here, right? And 78 drones is nothing to, scoff at or anything. So he's going to have good eco, but he is playing an aggressive composition that typically wants to keep momentum. It wants to win fights. It wants to keep winning fights. If you do not make progress with Lingbane Hydra, and you're not teching up because your idea is to keep building Lingbane Hydra, you're going to see a similar scenario to what we saw in that last game, just with different army comps, where basically the MaxPax army is going to be way too valuable. It's going to be able to be way too good altogether. And then Solar's army just can't trade against it. So it's important to start getting some trades and getting some value ASAP. And Bane's still coming through. You're going to see the Muscular Augments coming up. The Overseer back around the top side. We got the Lings moving around as well as a couple of Zealots going to step back over there. Again, just going to have our Ling, Bane, Hydra Force continuing to come about. Muscular Augments coming up, +2 attack coming online, cannon and the probes building as we speak, and Solar's about to max out. Like I say, he's making no moves in my eyes to set up for later in this game, apart from, +2 melee upgrade, sure. But he's making no moves to get off Lingbane Hydra, which means he should be looking to fight, right? The longer you wait here, the more tech comes online, the less happy you're going to be about actually having to make this fight happen. As you see some of the Ling Hydra starting to run in on the right side. There's a Storm available off that 1 high Templar, morphing even more Banelings, 21 additionals coming through. Again, a lot of units bottom left as well, so the multi-prong is part of the reason why this can see success, because you're forcing the pros to play good defense in multiple directions. Right now, I'd say we're actually overcommitted on the bottom left side defensively from MaxPax, and that means this upper right side has a lot of potential. That first Storm gets dodged away from for the most part. Solar steps back through it, one more Storm available. Now it's just these Archons here, and the Bane's going to reach that mineral line. Actually blows up a bunch of Warping in Stalkers, which is really good value. Banes are still coming through. MaxPax is the one that's lost a lot of supply. The Lings and Banes are trying to get to the high Templar there. They're not able to reach. On the left-hand side, we are going to see a few Hydras left over. MaxPax did pull a lot of the defense to the right, realizing what was going on because he was under-defended on the right. He overreacts, pulling over to the left, and that maybe leaves the opportunity for that base to be exposed. Now he pulls back over to the left, and again, because he's kind of reactively kind of pulling left and right, It's getting a little bit messy and scrappy, and that's going to be the result. The base goes down, and Solar does knock that base away. A couple of these Zealots still being picked away at. Just going to be seeing the Hydras and the Lings still pushing up. A couple probes. Going to be in some trouble there. We can't lose another base. If Solar loses the MaxPax loses the left side, then Solar is going to be in prime position. Again, another round of Zerglings starting up. We know where this is going. It's more of the same. Additional Banelings coming up right now. As all of those Lings and Banes more through. Archon Immortal coming up as we speak. So again, a lot of that up and online. Getting a lot of that ready to go. Chunk of Zealots is going to get warped in here. The Hydra's going to knock down some rocks. Open up some space. The Banelings will roll their way across that left-hand side. So Solar readying up the opportunity over on the far left. A couple more Banes will morph through. The Ling Bane all coming up. +2 melee about to finish. It's a nice storm onto a few of the Hydras. We are coming in from the top side as well, just letting a few of the Banes try to sink through over there. Going to see some High Templar. They get blown up. No storms left over, guys, and that is going to be a lot of Hydras to deal with no splash damage. Banes are still hitting the Stalkers. There are a few Zealots on the other side, sure, but I don't think that's saving you from the onslaught of Hydras here. I mean, actually, again, a little bit split up. They're hitting different things. But yeah, MaxPax gets the same feeling. GG's Game 5 is what it's going to come down to, pretty much. So the next couple will probably be delayed by a couple of minutes while we finish up this series and then get everything started and get everything underway, basically. So that is a factor. As on the top left-hand side, the red Protoss player from the 2-1 lead now having to play the ace map. It is going to be MaxPax. And keeping us alive with all of that Zerg aggression and swarminess, it is our blue Zerg in the bottom right-hand corner, Solar. Yo, F Spartan, thank you so much for the Prime sub. I appreciate you. How you doing? Thank you so much for priming us up today and supporting the channel. Let's see how it all comes to a close in this 59th edition of the Monday Cup. It has been 57 cups since we last saw a Zerg walk away with the victory. Can Solar change that here in his second finals? It's the second time he finds himself in a Game 5 in the finals. Last time he lost to Clem, he was pipped to the post. Is it going to happen again here? We're finding out very soon. Hatch Gas and Pool coming up, the gate on the way, and we get settled in on 10,000 feet. Axis going down on the natural. Can't believe Clem didn't sign up by the cup. I'm pretty sure he's probably on a plane from Canada to France. It's probably the reasoning, or maybe not even on a plane yet, if I had to guess. Depends how early a flight he wanted home. Knowing Clem, probably not too early a one. Cybercore coming through. Nexus is on the way up. The Overlord checking up to the top side. And a couple of Queens will build. The Overlord and the drones coming through. The Nexus finishing shortly. Stargate on the way. Link speed in production. Drop a hatchery onto the third base. This is kind of as peaceful as we wanted to be. Give a few moments to get set up. Scan established here as our Stargate. Going to finish very soon. The Warp Gate coming online. As we had one game where MaxPax did not play the Stargate. The old school 4-gate glaive, and it did work as well. So, yeah. Was fun, as now we wait for this next one. That link speed coming through, the few drones coming about, Queen on the way. Just going to see the Adept down on that bottom side. The few drones gathering up right now. And we have the Adept just going to get in onto the Crypt Tumor. Checking that off. Again, Warp Gate still coming through, a couple of drones, the Queen and the link speed coming about. As the Stalker going to ping through the Overlord. Again, Nexus is producing the hatchery coming online. And just going to see that Stalker still getting in after the Ovi. Try and make a little bit of something happen there. Oh yeah, the Robo started very quickly here from MaxPax. Maybe there's something a little bit different to what he wants to do right there compared to what we've seen before. Because that's not a fast Twilight Council, so Robo, then Twilight. Just gonna see the few Zerglings still dashing about. Powerful moving over. Queens are gonna be there, and they're gonna get a couple shots off and push the Oracle back around. Roach Rowan will go down at the front. And it's gonna be there into Roach Rowan. I mean, this is a complete switch up from Solar. He's been playing non-stop. Just back-to-back-to-back Ellie upgrades. And now in Game 5, he's like, oh, I'm just going to play a bit more of a Roach style. And you know what? It's the perfect call, because I mentioned that Robo first, and this is why it's a Robo first, because we're getting the fast Prism, and we're not rushing Blink, we're going Templar Archives, we're looking for the Archon drop. And the Roaches are going to be a much more reliable source of defense against the Archon drop than melee upgrade Lings are going to be. So this is once again MaxPax doing all of the builds that are particularly good against melee upgrade build orders. And in this final game, finally Solar says, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna be a Roach player. And that might, I mean, that doesn't necessarily guarantee the defense, but it definitely makes Solar's life a bit easier because you're not fighting against the build order disadvantage from the very start of the game. So it's a pretty major factor there as the few High Templar morph into Archons. Yo, Headfield's Downstroke, thank you so much for the 30-month resub on the Prime as well here in Game 5 of our finals. 7 Roaches, Roach speed producing. Just going to see the Prism, going to take a journey down the bottom. Not sure why we're zooming in there. We are going to see our first Overlord in some trouble. Ooh, Solar supply blocked. Has 2 OVs on the way. Has a few Roaches already out. Transfusion available to keep that Queen alive. It is the target. The Archon stepping into it. We drop a Stasis Ward during this. It's an interesting position. Might be something we accidentally run into at some stage. Solar saw it though, so he's going to set it off with the Ling. Well handled for now. Into Storm, and Solar says into Infestation Pit. Oh my goodness, what are we doing, Solar? What are we going to do with that Infestation Pit? Like, is this just a hive? He doesn't have money stacked up to kind of play Swarm Host or anything crazy. So probably just a hive and teching through. It's just such a step back from everything that Solar has been doing. What if it isn't? What if it is Swarm Host actually? Nidus. There we go. Swarm Host it is. It started to be the only thing that really made sense. He doesn't have anything to really accompany Hive Tech. And so Swarm Hosts are like the one thing that really makes sense right now. Oracle steps over to the right. Prism coming up around the top here just for the moment. It's going to be seeing the, obviously, first round of Swarm Hosts are going to be some of the most dangerous ones. We are going to have Storm to hell, but it really depends on where those Swarm Hosts hit and how well they do initially. Revelation, if MaxPax is watching, you should be aware of the Swarm Host, but we are going to Nidus to the left that's going to give access to kind of Swarm Host the main base. And that's potential for a lot of value right off the get-go there, so that is something that can definitely come through, I'd imagine. As the Nidus sound, and well, let's see how well we can defend against this right here over the next few moments. Swarm Host popping out. And Immortal in the +1 upgrade coming through. Just going to be seeing the Locust coming in. Drops the first Storm. The Swarm Host Locust kind of move through it. Oh no, they go after the Archon, so they step through another Storm. That was not a great first round of the Swarm Host Locust at all, quite frankly. So that really is not a great starting point. That's not what you want to see. Let's just see 10 Roaches, a bunch of Lings still coming through here as well. So a lot of value coming about on that. More Swarm Hosts just going to come popping out for the moment, so they're going to come over as well right now. Stepping straight through. Moments of back and forth. Another Storm coming down. They really need these Locusts to do something a bit more meaningful, but they're not going to get a Nexus. So they're just going to get a few probes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a few Zealots going down as well. The Roach Ravager relocates back over the sides. I'm getting a little afraid for that. I feel as though we're not really doing as much as we kind of need to be right now. So not really succeeding in that regard just yet. Storm coming down, everything else still gathering together. So again, we go back and forth for a couple of seconds. Just going to be seeing a couple corrosive vials trying to drop through as well. Solar trying to trade here with the Roach Ravager, but the Roach Ravager will not trade well. You need these Locusts to be up in front and to be trading and to be providing value, and it's not happening too much. Now we're going to get the Locusts in, and they have a chance to do some real damage while everything else is busy with the Roach Ravager, but that's a great Storm. And again, the Storms so far have actually been really good for MaxPax. The Storms have really helped him out, and you do see the progress here from Solar, which is to move in toward the Lurkers and to step into that next stage of the game already. So, going to get that going immediately. Start that off and get that rolling out. Just going to get that straight underway here for the moment. Just going to be seeing these Zealots coming through. A couple of cancels coming in. I mean, we need to protect this base. The Roach Ravager's right there. We need to protect it. Like I say, can't really afford to take damage when you're playing a low eco kind of game such as Swarm Host styles. The Templar stepping over, need to be careful. They don't get jumped on by roaches. They were on their own. Morphs and Archon. Hey, that's not bad. Forcing the Archon morph on a 2 high Templar that had energy. I mean, it's better than losing it, obviously, as as MaxPax, but it could have been a lot worse. We dive in again. Locusts trying to do something. They get an Archon. I mean, hey, an Archon's nice. An Immortal's even better if you add that onto the rest. Ooh, now he got it. It's low, though, right? It's still a unit that's going to be low for later on. Because, like I say, Hydras are building. This Lurker, the Lurker production is going to be starting soon. Seeing the Swarm Hose. Oh, they do not get back in the Nidus, so the Swarm Hose are going to get stuck in the middle of the map. Now do we get forced to fight? Ooh, MaxPax took a second to come down the bottom. So actually, not too bad. We actually dropped the Locust down on the Zealot, but then there's an Immortal there, and these Swarm Hose are still taking damage. There's a Nidus top right that he is going to be able to escape the Swarm Hose into, so they get away. Uh-oh, MaxPax just walked into the Lurkers, and 2 Immortals go down immediately as well. So damage done there right off the bat. Also, is going to be rough. You want to try and stay away from that, obviously. I mean, obviously now you're kind of aware that there's Lurkers. You're probably going to be a bit more cautious about the ways in which you move around the map at this stage. Stargate Fleet Beacon coming through. Those Lurkers and Lings building as well. And you're going to step forward. Couple Lurkers getting burrowed. Storms coming down. Immortals wanting to try and push forward into that army. But again, it's a lot of Lurkers. And MaxPax now has to take the tech into Stargate and Fleet Beacon. I really do think this has been a pretty rough game for Solar. Like, he did not do what he wanted to do with the Swarm Host at the end of the day. But the fact he was able to at least buy time again to Lurkers is giving him a chance. Moments like this right now, though, are kind of scary. We are seeing some of the High Templar going down. Archon stepping into Lurkers as well. We've got some Lurkers to the main base to play defense. So just going to step straight through over there. Those Archons still in some trouble. Lurkers are firing a bunch of Hydras on the way up with Lings as well in production right now. We're actually getting a catch on a lot of the tech units. I mean, Lurkers just step into that Storm, gets the High Templar there as well. All the High Templar just died. It's the Immortals that are going to try and play a getaway. The Locusts that remain actually do damage across the map as well. And the Lurkers are still trying to chase up toward the rest of that army. We're going to recall home as MaxPax needs to resettle. He's building the Tempest. My concern for Solar now, I suppose, falls to the fact, like, do we have an answer for Tempest? Currently, it's Hydras. No Spire in sight. It's a low eco game. Still only 60 workers. Runs up over there. Wants to try and get rid of these High Templar in the front. We're going to see the Lurkers are going to force their way up this ramp, and we are going to siege this position. The Immortals trying to run away through the Sim City is actually holding them off and keeping them in trouble. Now this Nexus is in trouble. Locusts are going to decide where they want to go to. Honestly, they can kind of pick and choose their moments. They're going to just go for the front door. This 4th base of MaxPax will go down, and Solar is going to control a very scary location. We have a couple of Tempests. I tell you what we don't have. We don't have splash damage against these Hydras, so if we want to fight the Tempest, we probably can do so. We even have a Nidus coming up in the natural of Solar to reinforce, of the natural of MaxPax to reinforce Solar over here. The Hydras can start going after that Nexus maybe. Like I say, we don't really have the splash to stop these Hydras. Yes, the Tempests are doing some damage, but they're not untouchable, so you've got to respect that, and that's why MaxPax is not getting too much done quickly here. We try and make our way through the Phoenix, lifting the Lurkers to try and get them unburrowed, and it's kind of working out. The Hydras need to step over and help against these Immortals. They are going to try and trade. Zealots going down. We're out of Lurkers. The Hydras show up, and the cleanup is made. Right side, 4th base attempt goes down. Nidus goes down. The Phoenix lifting multiple Lurkers, saving the day, quite frankly. Because without that, I actually think we stay in a very, very difficult position. Oh my goodness, absolute chaos. as we get to... I mean, this Game 5 finale is really turned into an epic. Observer there, Lurker goes down. What are we left with is Solar, 4 Lurkers, 7 Swarm Horse still. Man, he does not have a lot. He's only 53 workers, but it's a 3 base Protoss at 15 minutes in game, and it's about to be a 2 base Protoss. This Nexus goes down, so some of that mining goes down. We're going to turn. Honestly, killing Zealots right now is value. Anything these Locusts kill is value, honestly. I don't know what they're chasing after at the end there. I'm just going to see a single Zerg and trying to see what's up. Uh-oh, the Swarm Hosts are seen. They need to run away. Solar needs to pay attention to his Swarm Host right now, not recognizing that they're in trouble. Solar's still not recognizing it. He's just letting the Swarm Host die. Oh, what a disaster. We just saw how much value they could still provide. Losing 3 out of the 7 is such a shame. You don't want to rebuild them because they're expensive, but if they're still there, they're providing free value every single cooldown, so just letting them go down is such a shame. Viper's available as we're going to yoink in first Tempest, yoink in 2 more. The Hydras will make short work of those Tempests when they're close. So all the Tempests going down, the couple Lurkers that are around, going to do what they can. We morph in more Lurkers now because we don't necessarily need the Hydras. The Immortals step in, and Solar is going to do it. He is going to win the WardiTV Mondays for the first time. And he is going to be the first Zerg since Shin won against MaxPax in also a 5-game series. In addition to, it has been 57 cups since a Zerg won this tournament. And today, Solar is the second ever Zerg to win this event. It's been over a year. It was September 2024 when Shin beat MaxPax in a 3-2 crazy kind of bonkers series as well. And man, what a game to end it